Welcome to Classic Car Cave. So I'm still working on the mini convertible to try and get this tonneau cover sorted out and the edges. It's a bit ongoing because we started the process looking at how we could make it. The concept is pretty much still there, but we've made it out of different materials. The alloy, the 1mm alloy plate that I use, it's just too weak, and it's too pliable. It bends too easily. The wood was good because it was easy to staple the sponge, or stick the sponge on and then staple the vinyl to it. But we've come up, Amir suggested we come up with these half steel pipe, so it keeps them absolutely in line, which is good, and it fits on a bit easier. So we've had to work out how it goes on, how it comes off. They're not going to be changing this, if ever, but the problem is they have to take the car from here to Croatia, so obviously they need the roof back on, and the roof would need to go back on if they needed it at some point, or ever sell the car or whatever. So we can't just make it and shove the roof in the back. So that's why it's taken a bit longer. So I hope you stick with me on it. I've got found an upholsterer in Furstenfeld that will do the buttons on it for me on the back and do the stitching, and hopefully that'll all work out, but it won't be until at least May before he can get around to it. He's quite busy. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so we've changed the concept's basically the same because of the situation with the rods for the roof. But Mia's come up with another idea, is to use this steel pipe, which is stronger. The problem with the aluminium is it's very easy to bend, and it's quite weak, and it deforms too easily. So we've gone for this metal one now. You can see these two pieces are in, so that one will stay in permanently. And basically, if I take it out, you can see it's got a stud welded at the bottom, so it can't go any further down, and it's got that edging on it, so we'll paint all that up. Then you can see it's flat against the end here, and the way this one works is it's got four studs in it that go down and then into a slot. So if I push it back, there we go. If I pull it back, it will come off, and you can see it goes over there, because it's got to go over the top of this rod. That's the problem, we can't get rid of that rod, because we thought about it. The problem is if it wants the door cards on here, you can't get to this bolt for this. So this works out much better, and it's stronger. It's got a nice flat end on it. So what will happen is that will just be sheathed directly in vinyl there. So this one will be in permanent, this one will slide up to it, and then this tonneau or capote, whatever you want to call it, valance around the back will work there. And so we just have to be vinyled up, but it'll be flat there. And it can't crush because it's steel. It's the aluminium just isn't strong enough. So there we go. I think that's going to work. He's just working on the second one. There's the other one. Oh, so this is the one for the other side. Yeah. And he's building the front the same for the other side. It's a bit easier second time round because you know where to go with it. When the first time it takes a bit longer because obviously you've got to try and plan it and whatever. But that works perfectly because it's lovely in line now. And then we'll carry that round with the guy from the trimming. If he does it, we'll carry that all the way around, so it's the same height all the way. So it looks like one piece, if you like. Okay, so this is just sitting on it, but you can see now, look, how it's perfectly in line right the way across. And we'll take it down to this coach line here, because these buttons are further down, so it'll be stitched onto that coach line. Obviously these will be two separate parts, and the other part will cover it. But you can see how nice that looks. Looks custom made. Well, it is custom made. Yeah, it's been a lot of work to get it, but it'll stick out like a sore thumb if it's not right. And as I said, the aluminium was a means. So we had the wood and the aluminium, and now we've got metal right the way through it. So I think that's much better. So there's the two caps made for that side, this side's done. But if you look, I don't know if this camera's going to show it, I'll try and get this level. In fact, this lower bar that they've put in, unfortunately it's going down at an angle. I can see it, and we've had to make the back one slightly longer than the front one. I'll put the level on, and you can see that this, is level. Where are we? You see it's pretty reasonably level, that, because there's no sponge on it or anything yet. It won't sit straight. There we go. Oh, it's because it's rounded. Okay, so you can see that's pretty level. But then when you go round and you look at the side, you can't see any gap through it, but you can see that this one in the front here has got less wall thickness than the one at the back. See how it's tapering down to the back, so this rail is in the wrong position. But the door card will cover that up, because the door card comes higher on the back than it does on the front. Yeah, this is what happens when you have to work with stuff that's not been put in properly. So it's not been welded in correctly, that piece. It's quite a few mil down at the back, which over that distance is quite a lot. Anyway, so this is the back bit that I've made for it, the back piece of pipe. And what I've done is I've just cut it now so that this can come in line. So I'll bring this up and show you what I mean. I haven't cut the bottom piece out yet, but I'll just split it there. Oh, typical. So when that's in and the other piece is off tomorrow, once I've done it, that will sit in line with this piece here on the end, and that will come right up to the edge, and then we can foam it up. But on the back we don't need to do that. As you can see, it sits, there we go. It sits pretty tight in the back there. So basically it'll come from here and over that, and then there'll be this diamond stitch back piece in here, and that should work well. So I'll crack on with that tomorrow. Okay, so the pipe's all made up. I've made a system where this can come off if it needs to come off. Basically it's just it's only 5 brackets. You can see there I've got this bracket in here which stays with the car, and if I lift this up you can see that it would flick over, and what that does, it keeps it perfectly in line with that. So when the full piece is on, you can see it'll be, in fact I'll do it this way, you can see it better. You can see it'll be the same level, and I have to do the same now with this one. You can see how it's sticking out, so I need to get that so it's in line like that, and make another bracket for it to sit in there. So I've made these brackets, I haven't screwed them in yet, but I'll show you how it works. So I can pull this up, and you can see there's the, I've had to cut out the edges on it, so it goes over that lip there, and same on that side, so it comes over here, and basically it's just 3 brackets. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little tack weld on these, so it's left, middle and right. I put a little tack weld on these, so all you got to do is when you put them on, if you want to take the brackets off, it's just a little butterfly. I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see it, but you can see it's just like a little butterfly clamp there. So that's how it's going to work. And yeah, and then I'll put the foam. So basically it fits in like that. And you can see it fits nicely on this edge here. And then that will have the foam all the way around it as well. Obviously you can see this one has got the foam on it and this one hasn't, so obviously it's got to be pushed down. So this material will be the same all the way along Yeah, and so I just need to sort this one out, make a bracket on it. Again, you can see it can move over to the side and maybe cut a bit too much, but it's good enough. And by the time the foam's on it, it'll be nice. So basically the vinyl will come up from here, over here, and over the foam, and then glued underneath. And then this cross stitching rear parcel shelf will be underneath it, and it will look one. And so you can either take this out, take the two back pieces out and put the hood on it, or if they take the hood up, I mean obviously if they've got to drive it to Croatia, or if they trailer it, I don't know, but they'll want to put the hood on to get it back to Croatia. So I want to make it less than a kind of 10-minute operation to change it from this, when it's all finished in vinyl and clipped down, to putting the hood back on again. So that's the plan. I think that'll work. So, but that's not going to stay like this. There's going to be self-tappers in here and in there as well. So it'll basically that bracket will stay with the tube. So these three will stay with the tube, because you can get to all three of them with just a wing nut. And that's the plan. See, I can't put this diamond stitch bit in because I've just put the sponge on to glue up. But just to give you an idea, obviously this would sit underneath this pipe, and you can imagine when the buttons are on this and this is pulled down, you can imagine how nice that would look against the diamond stitch. If you squint, maybe. Obviously this is going to be pulled down more because it's going to be wrapped around the sponge like that one is there. But I think you get the gist of what I'm going for. And then obviously we'll have this double stitched and probably a liner put on this to make it stronger, because I'm fairly sure that even with a double wrap on this, it won't be strong enough, you know, even with an overlap like that. I think it's going to need more than that. I might need some backing in it. I just put that under just to, it's just an off cut, but yeah, I think it's going to need more than, I'll just double stitch on that, or double piece. I think I'll need a piece of backing and then stitched. Anyway, that's the basic idea behind it. Can you imagine? I think that'll look nice against the diamond. Right. So, I'll glue this in place, do the two corners, and then I can cut the vinyl a bit closer to it. It's coming on.